as to everyone as we go forward. Chief, you weren't in the Capitol Police or in leadership during the events of January 6th. So questions are not directed at you personally, but our questions are going to be directed to your position in your ability to look back and help us get more understanding of what took place, where the failures were, and of your position to help correct things going in the future. So I just want to make sure everyone in the press understands these are not directed at you since you were not here. My first question is regarding after action reports. Now, during a congressional baseball shooting, which I was there, I was on the field, the Capitol Police after action report of that event was nearly 40 pages long, and it involved only 2 Capitol Police officers. But the after-action report following January 6th was less than 30 pages and involved virtually every officer in the Capitol Police. Can you explain how the disparity there? I mean, it would seem to me that we would have volumes of after-action report.
So in a word, I can't. However, what I can say is that there were over a dozen after-action reports related to January 6th, and they specifically talked about intelligence failures, leadership failures, equipment failures, training failures, planning failures. So you had reports that sort of looked at a sort of a very narrow piece of the failures at January 6th, and I think that is the reason that there were so many of them.
Were these Capitol Police originated reports, or are you talking about the reports from the Senate investigation and the Republican investigation? I know that Mr. Papalescu, is that close enough? I know that some of his folks submitted reports, but are there other reports which reports are you referring to?
Well, I'm actually referring to the Inspector General reports and the other after-action reports that were done. If you're talking about the internal after-action reports?
Yeah, I mean, the only after-action report that I have seen from the Capitol Police was a 28-page report. It was very vague.
Yeah, and I really can't speak to that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not missing something that we're looking into. Also, I want to thank you for working with our subcommittee and providing us with the radio recordings from that day. I think that'll be helpful in us in getting a better handle on where things are going. Were these recordings, and these are the radio transmissions from that day, were they provided to any other congressional committee, federal agency, or any other entity, to your knowledge?
I would have to check to make sure, but I think that they were provided to the Department of Justice for the prosecution of cases, and they may have been provided to the defense attorneys as well, but I would have to check to verify that. I know that the video was provided to those folks for the related to the criminal prosecutions of cases.
Yeah, and if you could follow up with us in writing, or that would be fine. I appreciate that. Does the Capitol Police have a media policy, and are you aware that one of your officers wrote a book about January 6th, and a civilian employee is currently advertising on their Twitter page that they'll be releasing a book soon after her experience on January 6th? I don't know if you were aware of
I'm aware of all the, yes, we do have a media policy, and I'm aware of both of those books. Is there any type of action being, I mean, are they in violation of your media policy, I guess, first question. In a word, I don't believe they are. Now, we are looking at both of those books and to ensure that they don't run afoul of any ethics violations or any other policies that we have. For folks personnel that are over at a certain level, at an executive level, there's a different set of rules. They're more stringent than folks that are not in the executive leadership.
Would it be possible you could provide those guidelines and rules
Yes.
to our committee? I appreciate that. Another question, are officers and employees required to report outside income earned from the book sales or any other employment they may have?
They're required to get any outside improvement, or outside employment approved by the department. I don't believe that we look at the money that they make from their
Okay,
outside.
so if somebody does have other employment, they have to report that or
Have to
get-
report that, and it has to be approved by the department, yes.
Okay. See, my time is up. The other questions I'll pick up on round two. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
The gentleman yields back. Ranking Member Morelli is now recognized for 5 minutes.